go, the Academy Trophy Final, the first one of 2023, and there will be 3 over the course of the season here in the Czech Republic, in Třinec, at Rodby in Denmark, and at Cremona in Italy. And at the end of it, we'll have our run out. There's a bit of a problem for the 502.
Yeah, Sebastian
Garzon again.
Yeah, he struggled to get away. I think he has successfully managed to get away as well. And with the 539 as well, also struggled to get away, but now has started to go. That was Marius Bonconcé.
Well, there is the grid in full. Marius Bergen, Hugo Marti, Max Walton and Wojciech Woda, Clara Kowalczyk and Arthur Braun from Ryotaro Sakai and Santina Panetta, Lisa Villard and Sebastian Garzon, Marcus Chapunias and Harry Bartel, Simon Mayo and Carol Stahl from Rocco Coronel and Lorenzo Campos, Romeo Haag and Vasilios Apostolidis, Victor Rad and Alexander Sneem, Zaino Avosani and Alias Vidmar, Apo Zimmerman and Marius Bonconcé, Kimi Ray Pedrencia and Alexis Honton, Benjamin Jalgaard, David Gaspar, Roland Schruder, Thomas Gomez, Radek Barber, Karl Mikelev, Viltesh Kiriupa, Christian Tonellini, Jan-Philippe Crew and Shane Chandaria.
It's a packed grid, it's a packed grandstand as well. We're about to go racing here at Třinec in the Czech Republic, here at the STEELRING circuit. Remember, 1,223 metres, this circuit comprising of several fantastic corners, undulating up and down. It is a roller coaster of a circuit, and it's become well known as the Monaco of karting here in the Czech Republic, and very much I'm thinking everyone here is looking forward to this race. Who is going to take the win? The front row, Marius Bergen, Hugo Marti. It's going to be an absolutely nail-biting final. Stay with us across these next 21 laps. It's going to be a challenge for all the drivers. Of course, these drivers will not have those fresh tyres. They have the used tyres they've been using across the 3 race heats they have done a piece over the course of the weekend. And it's all come down to this. 45 drivers entered into it. Only 36 on the grid, so he lost a few during the course of the weekend. But now we get ready to go. It's the first round of the FIA Karting Academy Trophy in 2023, and it's about to get underway.
So now let's see, after 21 laps, who is going to emerge with the first maximum score from a final of this 2023 season campaign in the 14th FIA Karting Academy Trophy.
We're going to have to wait a little bit longer. Yeah, they're so eager to get going. There we go then. So we have this sort of time period now where drivers will have to refocus themselves, get everything sorted. But again, they're pushing the tyres a little bit more. It's another lap that they're using on these tyres, scrubbing them just that little bit more. They don't want to see that one as they go through. The marshals this weekend have been absolutely fantastic at the STEELRING circuit, providing everything we've needed to make sure the racing runs safe. And you saw them out there earlier on while the drivers were making their way out, supportive of all the karts and, of course, the drivers who are looking to go racing here today. The press is ready, the spectators are ready, the drivers are ready, but are you, the viewer at home, ready for an electric final? It's about to get underway once more as the drivers make their way around the final section of the circuit, and you can imagine the nerves are starting to creep in here.
It's time for these drivers to start writing their motorsport legacy. Many of them have gone on to massive things in the world of motorsport. Certainly for all 36 of them, it's their first chance to step into the ring in the international arena and show the world what they can do with even and equal machinery and an equal playing field. Down the straight they come. Are we going to go racing this time? Yes, we are! And it's off and away in the Academy Trophy final. Marius Bergen gets a perfect start. Not a bad start either for Hugo Marti. He wrestles his way in front of Max Walton to hold on to second position as they go up the crest. And they run their way through the hairpin, through the right, through the left. Is everybody going to get through without incident in the chicane? They're definitely getting close to each other. Are they just about going to survive? Yes, they are. Well done, everybody. They just about got away without the drama, and now they work their way through. Up into second position has come Hugo Marti from a very positive start. Max Walton is still there in third position, trying to find his way through, but all 36 of the drivers who have made the final have worked their way through the first 2 sectors.
Clara Kowalczyk, the Polish driver, has moved up into P4 now as well as it's going battle on for second place. It's all starting to heat up as the rest of the field make their way through the second of the chicanes back down into the final sector of the circuit. This is the tight, undulating, twisty section. Not many overtakes happen through here, but as they exit over the start-finish line, it is Marius Bergen who still leads the way from Max Walton, Hugo Marti, Clara Kowalczyk, Sebastian Garzon, Wojciech Woda, Santina Panetta and Harry Bartel, the top 8. Marcus Silkunas and Ryotaro Sakai round out the top 10.
Big problems for Rocco Coronel and Victor Rad. They've lost over a dozen places each off the start, However, everybody else has kept it on the straight and narrow in a relatively decent position compared to where they started. But the big news is that all 36 drivers are still circulating after a lot of pressure on them in the first couple of laps to get it wrong, and they've all kept it on the straight and narrow. Still good battles all the way down to the back of the field. Barry Berg hanging on from Walton, Marty and Kowalczyk. So with Walton having gone through in the second position, Clara Kowalczyk is now trying to size up the Spaniard in front, and maybe she can get her way through to third position. It'll be a tough opportunity for her to go for, but Clara Kowalczyk definitely looking very hungry for a podium. It looks like we've had a little bit of an issue somewhere out on the circuit. We're going to have a bit of a replay back over a bit of drama out on the circuit. We're going to have a look at it again. A little bit of an issue in the middle of the pack. Going to see what happened. It's Rocco Coronel. That's how he lost positions. That's how Victor Rad went with him. So Rad and Coronel losing time. Coronel losing about 15 places in all. So that's how Rocco Coronel dropped back. Very impressive that he was not out of the race there. He could easily have stalled it and had to push start it. Unfortunately, Rocco Coronel kept his foot in and is able to keep running. So Barry Berg leads the way. Walton in second from Martin Kowalczyk, Garrison, Holder, Panetta, Marcos, Cunhas and Yutaro Sakai.
Getting a bit hazy in the background there as we're seeing Lisa Billard under pressure from Mayer and Hay there. Braun just in front of that group as well. Billard trying to get the position done. This is about 11th and 12th place battle that we're seeing on the circuit as they go back onto the start-finish straight. So battles happening all the way throughout the grid. But eyes on the front here, and Barry Berg leading the way. And if he can continue this pace, he would end this weekend on top of the championship with 55 points. Remember, there's an extra championship point for fastest lap of the race, and that's actually in the hands of Max Walton. So that one extra championship point would give him 46 compared to the 45, and actually get away with at the end of this when he finishes in the same position he's in. Both with a warning flag. So he's got to be careful. He's coming running in 19. He has gained 4 places in this race so far, but at the moment, the entire grid still looking relatively calm out there. The last lap after Braun got past Lisa Billard for P11 was moved earlier on as well as the team moves up into P18, and Zayn El-Hamasani rounding out the top 25 after gaining a position. 4 laps completed, we go on to lap 5. Still a long way to go in this race.
So now it's going to be about Marius Barry Berg trying to maintain and manage these tyres for the duration of. But as we mentioned before, these drivers have been on these tyres since the start of time qualifying on Friday through their 3 qualifying heats, and now they've got to carry them through the final as well. Arthur Braun steps it up with the fastest lap of the race, currently running down in 11th spot. Arthur Braun. It's going to be a very tricky one for him to continue. He tries to make as many gains from this race as possible. It's not the easiest of weekends for the Kiwi, having had a victory in his first heat and then struggling to battle away in the latter stages of the weekend. He's got plenty of opportunities before the end of this season is out to redeem himself. Marius Barry Berg just half a second now in front of the Australian Max Walton. I didn't think that Walton was going to have a big opportunity here to try and take on the Norwegian up front, and he's certainly trying to make that count. As Marty in third, then Kowalczyk, Garzon, Boulder, Panetta, Bartels, Sakai and Braun. As we watch, they work their way through the first couple of corners. This is the duel between Boulder and Panetta. And then behind the Argentine, you've got the British driver Harry Barthel. And then Yutaro Sakai, the Japanese, in front of Braun, the Kiwi, and Marcus Cunhas, the man who won in the earlier qualifying heat. So this is all getting pretty tasty. As up the inside, we just saw a manoeuvre there from Lorenzo Campos, getting through on the inside of Simon Mayer. So good racing between the Angolan and the Austrian. Very intriguing duel all the way through this field. They're keeping it nice and tidy in the Academy Trophy, I have to say. So far, so good for Barthel versus Sakai.
It's also heating up at the front because Max Walton has taken tenths out of Marius Barry Berg's race lead. The gap's about half a second, and through sector 1 he was a tenth faster. Through sector 2 he was about half a tenth faster. Through the third sector, again nearly a tenth faster. The battle for the race lead will be heating up very, very soon as we keep with the groups further back, as again the Constantino effect kicks in as everyone just squeezes in as they try to slow down for these very tricky and technical corners. Back down into the midfield here as Voda and Panetta still line astern as it kicks off in the background there as one of the cars going side by side. I think that could have been Sakai who was under pressure there, but he still maintains that position. But I think Braun actually managed to get the job done and has moved up into P9.
So Marius Berryberg keeping the lead for the moment on the inside. That's a good little duel happening in the lower end of the top 10. As we still have some good duels going on at all four corners. Zainal Hamosani there, dueling away with Marius Munkinsale, I think. Zainal Hamosani getting the overtaking move done. Come onto the main straight again. Berryberg and Walton, 4/10 of a second between them. Marty still third, then Kowalczyk, then Garzon, then Voda. And now we're watching the duel further back. This is Voda in front of Panetta. The Polish driver and the Argentine is up the inside. A bit of a lunge there. Going to make the overtaking move stick. Yes, he is. That is Arthur Braun getting through past Harry Bartle. And the Kiwi gets up into 8th position now. So he's worked his way through one by one. And he is starting to make big inroads. As there is a driver under investigation at the moment. It is the 542 of Benik Gaspar, the Hungarian. So Benik Gaspar, unfortunately not really rubbing the marshals up the right way. Up the inside, a nice move from Panetta. He dives in now to get the overtaking move on Voda. There might just be a chance for Braun to sit on the inside. There is Arthur Braun, ruthless.
Bartle goes through as well. There's contact and heavy damage to Panetta's car there. And Panetta off the side of the circuit. It's Voda's off the circuit. And that kart is done for this race.
Poor Wojciech Voda, minding his own business, dealing with Braun up the inside. Bartle sensed there was a chance to get through as well. And unfortunately, they just clattered into each other. They just banged wheels. And it's enough to put the Polish driver out of this race. Poor Wojciech Voda. So he's going no further. Meanwhile, there is a big charge forward from Arthur Braun. He's managed to get through that one now. He's got Santino Panetta in front of him to try and challenge. And the Argentine is definitely going to be under some big pressure now. We look at Lisa Biard, moved away to 8th place as a result of all of that. Marcos Champunias up to 9th, Bartle in 10th, in front of Sakai, Hag, Campos and Mayer. Champunias is now overtaken Sakai as Bartle drops down to 11th position. So now we're going to see there's more driver on the horizon, but Wojciech Voda out of the race. Yellow flags are still there on that part of the course as his kart is being escorted off. Walton is close right up at Marius Berryberg. Here we go. This is going to be the challenge for the lead now. And the Australian is ready to take on the Norwegian with no conviction whatsoever.
Yeah, this is going to get very, very interesting here because he's closed in over several laps now, has Max Walton. So the Australian looking very strong, and there was the dive, but instantly Marius Berryberg fights back. And there is the first attempt at a position change for the race lead. And Berryberg holds on to it, but now the question mark looms over the back of his head, thinking, where is my pace gone? And once again, looking down the inside goes Max Walton, but he can't quite get it done. He does get it done. Amazing move down the inside into the final section of the circuit. And Marius Berryberg cannot respond. As now we dip back into second place. Hugo Party has now closed up with that battle to race. And is it me, or is it looking really slippy on that section?
Are we getting some rain spots on the circuit now? This would be a big drama if it suddenly started raining mid-race. But there is an investigation going on for Arpo Timonen. He's got a warning flag, and a 513. Harry Bartle is under investigation for his incident with Wojciech Voda. But we saw how fast the rain was coming in by that cloud. If it starts raining, and it is raining. It is raining on the course. It's raining in the middle of this race with everybody on slick tyres. Max Walton has come up to the lead, as we know. Marius Berryberg now in second from Martin Kowalczyk, and it is raining at the STEELRING mid-race with everybody on slick tyres. Goodness me, this is drama. This is now going to be about these young men and women desperately trying to hold on to it on slick tyres. This could be very dangerous.
Well, Max Walton's going to be the guinea pig going into every single corner here. He'll be the first in, and hopefully he'll be the first out, but it's going to be so slippery. The change of already first victims is happening.
Garzon and Braun both go off the road there at the bottom of the hill. 3 wide as they try and tiptoe their way through. Is everybody going to be able to hold on to this? They just about keep it through, but there are drivers dropping back. Arthur Braun has been caught out big time. He's dropped out of the top 10. As a result of this, the Kiwi is still going, but there's so little grip. This is going to be about who's the most patient now for the rest of this race. Walton is hanging on to it in the lead, but how many times has the Australian had to deal with leading a race in the rain?
Well, that's going to be the biggest question, isn't it? I don't think they get much rain in Australia in the best of times, but when they do, they do.
And it's is getting heavier.
It is. It's not the best conditions for them, and it's really close in. This is the top four that you can see on your screen now, and Hugo Marti is all over the back of Marius Barryberg. Barryberg here looking like he's under pressure as they dip down once again into that final section of the circuit, and it looks like the drivers may be getting away with this now because they've had several laps under this sort of conditions. The tyres were warm, the track was warm, and I think they've managed to get away with it. There's still quite a bit of traction still out there, but nevertheless, the rain still falls and the slippery surface flags are still out.
Yeah, it very much depends on just how heavy the rain continues to get. But remember Genk in 2021 when we had so many drivers sail off into the barriers at Cafe Corner. It just, once the grip goes, it just goes. And unfortunately, the drivers are not going to have a massive amount of warning when it does. Through to the hairpin. Out in second, Marius Barryberg still pursuing Max Walton. This race is not done. This is going to be about who's the most patient as they hop over the curve. Walton losing grip as a result of that. And Marius Barryberg comes through to retake the lead. He's not going to be the only one to get through. Hugo Marti is going to dive on the inside as well. He'll take second position. No problems at all there for the Spaniard. Just a little moment of unsettled back end for Max Walton as he tripped over the curves of the compression, and that was enough to lose the momentum, lose the rhythm, and Barryberg takes it back.
Well, it was Barryberg who hit the curb. It was Max Walton who went wide. He took the wet racing line through that hairpin there. And I think the wet line's not quicker than the normal racing line at the moment. So instantly, Marius Barryberg just went straight down the inside. The mechanics there checking for rain, and they're just thinking, oh, is it still coming down? We're not too sure. There's a cart off at the hairpin as well. So one driver...
On the inside, there goes Sakai. Sorry, Anthony.
That's
Sakai
right.
gets the move on the inside of Santino Panetta. And that puts the Japanese driver up into P6. So you're right, there is a car that's off the road further back. And that really hasn't helped in terms of...
I think it's Roland Sprude.
It is Roland Sprude, so unfortunately he's now gone from the race. But there's still slippery flags around the circuit trying to remind all the drivers to just be careful with the conditions. There is Roland Sprude's car. So game over for him, I'm afraid. Meanwhile, the two ladies at the top five, Kowalczyk and Bion, they are suddenly finding themselves in a position to challenge for the podium as Sebastian Garzon is now under investigation. Not entirely sure what that one was for.
It could be to do with his transponder, I think, because they didn't cock up at that one time, but not too sure. We go on to lap 15, now 14 laps completed, and we're nearing the race conclusion here as still a question mark over the conditions out there, but Marius Barryberg, after everything, still leads the way. Here's a replay of after corner of what happened and the contact there and Brown and just straight off the circuit. What a disaster there. It was 5:02.
Oh, and a spin on the main straight for Arthur Braun. We didn't even see that one.
Well, that's, I think, getting the power on the painted curves. Might have been very slippy there. That was the overtake for Marius Barryberg for the race lead, getting past Max Walton, and then instantly Hugo Marti came through as well, just behind. So it's getting very interesting out there.
Lisa Bion and Ryotaro Sakai have both managed to get through past Clara Kowalczyk now, so Bion up to fourth and Sakai up into fifth.
Changes in the top section as the big group going past the start-finish line now. That's 11th place all the way down really to 29th, 30th place in that big group, and Campos leads that one after gaining 5 positions, but it's been a real up and down session on this one. The biggest movers out on circuit is actually Jan Philipp, the Mexican driver, who is in 24th place. He's gained 11 positions so far in this one.
So that's a very strong move forward. This is the replay. This is the move from Lisa Bion to battle alongside Clara Kowalczyk, and there's how Sakai got through on the inside. Kowalczyk losing out initially there to Santino Panetta, but Kowalczyk managed to get back through on the inside and maintain her position in the top 6. And still very close quarters racing here at the steel ring in the drizzly damp conditions. It was bright sunshine about an hour ago. Marius Barryberg and Hugo Marti still battling for the win, 4/10 of a second apart. It does look like it's going to be about who can hold their nerve the longest in these conditions.
I think the track's pretty much dried up now. I don't think there's any drama coming from any more rain. I think it looks like it's stopped raining for the time being. So we are back to, I think, normal racing conditions as Arthur Braun now sets the fastest lap of the race. So despite the fact that he's all the way down the order after a spin, he's still going quick out there. So he shows he's got the pace still. The top 3 though, very, very close as we watch this battle starting to heat up.
And it's Usneen versus Bartle, isn't it?
It is.
Usneen gone through on the hard section of the course. Yeah, Arthur Braun will be sick to his stomach, but he's still in 10th position.
Yeah.
But not a bad run for the Kiwi at this point. Up the hill is Lisa Sevillard trying to follow in behind the top three, with Sakai following and giving chase. KUALLFYING not doing a bad job in 6th place in front of Panetta and Chapunas, then Haag and Braun, and then it is this man, Lorenzo Campos, in front of Garzon. It does look as though the rain has stopped. Mark, the mechanics not really keeping an eye on it, and the slippery flags have been withdrawn. So obviously the Academy Trophy drivers were able to continue on, but that was a big hiccup, wasn't it? And now Arthur Braun still setting fastest lap after fastest lap, driving with the red mist. He seems to drive well, Angry, doesn't he?
Oh, what a dive that is, and the 509 of Panetta gets moved through on KUALLFYING, and KUALLFYING now under pressure from Shilkunas here, who has a look down the inside but can't quite get the move done. That's now bringing in the two drivers behind it, Premier Hay and Arthur Braun, the recovering Arthur Braun, who is trying to get back into this race. There is still about 3 or so laps to go in this race, so we're nearing the conclusion, but out of the final corner, once again, the top 3 still very, very close. Marius Barryberg, Hugo Marti and Max Walton, 1, 2, 3.
Lads, some very challenging chapters through the course of that race. Gritash Giriupa has unfortunately ended up with a warning flag himself there. I'm not entirely sure what's happened to Gritash, but look at these 3, still very evenly matched. Marius Barryberg of Norway, Hugo Marti of Spain, and Max Walton of Australia. The gap between them is less than a second, and it's all going to come down to who has the best run of it. Now, this is a replay of 501 of Lisa Villard. Very unsettled there for Sakai, wasn't it, as he clipped the curb. And the back of the car was treating him a bit like running around in a washing machine. He was vibrating all over the place.
Indeed, maybe a little bit of damage to the car there as well. So, as the race concludes, this battle's still heating up, and at the moment, Martin's dropping back here from Barryberg, and Walton is all over the rear bumper here as they go into the final couple of laps. Are we going to see a move from Max Walton? I reckon we will, but it will depend on where we will see that move happen. This was earlier on in the race. The replay is down the inside, the 528 going down.
That's Kimi Ray on Jan-Philippe Krul.
Yes.
So Kimi Ray trying his best and managing to get past the Mexican there without too many difficulties. There was a little bit of rubbing between them, as they say in days of thunder, rubbing racing.
Yep.
Fortunately, it didn't look like it was too big a damage for either driver. They can continue, but Max Walton only has a lap and a bit in order to try and get past Hugo Marti to try and challenge for the win in the Academy Trophy final here in the Steel Ring.
Not long left to go, and time quickly running out here for Max Walton to get the move done. Back on the start-finish straight, Barryberg checks over the shoulder, can see that he's got a bit of an advantage here as they go on to the final lap. And it'll be all down to whether or not Walton can get the move done on Marti, or Marti will defend this position with every last breath as they go down the hill now into the S's. This is the major overtaking opportunity here for Walton, and it doesn't happen. Maybe into the right-hander here at the top of the hill. No, again, can't quite do it, has to stay behind. No positions gained or lost, but for Marius Barryberg, it's looking signed, sealed and done here.
He certainly needed to get back into the lead at the right moment, and the Norwegian has kept his head throughout. Hugo Marti and Max Walton still battling the second place all the way to the flag, with just half a second in front of them. The Norwegian, who was a bit nervous coming into this final, wasn't sure if he could have the tyres to go the distance, and proved he could do that and more besides. Marius Barryberg wins at the Steel Ring in the Academy Trophy final. Hugo Marti is fairly happy with second place. Max Walton will have to be content with third, but Marius Barryberg becomes the first winner of an Academy Trophy final in 2023 for Norway from pole position. Great work from Marius Barryberg. What a superb effort, 21 laps around this course, and after 25.6 scary kilometres of racing, it really has been a tremendous bout to finish us off in style. Looks like we had a last lap retirement from Radek Vavra, who has not come through at the end of the race, but otherwise everybody else that we knew about has already completed. So Marius Barryberg, 4/10 of a second clear of Hugo Marti, and in third Walton from Bjorn Sakai and Panetta. A great fight back from Braun as well in seventh, but it's Norway on the top spot.
He comes away with 55 championship points, does Marius Barryberg. He misses out on the fastest lap of the race. That went to Arthur Braun.